What's up, YouTube fans? We're back with a special show today. We're going to be talking about Transformers 1, the movie.
Yay!
So I got to go with these fine gentlemen right here, Dr. Diecast, Mr. Allen. Say hello to the people.
Say hello, Alan.
What's up, everyone? What's up,
Mr.
DC
Sam's Mr. Sam Scott Robots.
Hello.
Oh,
So luckily we all live not too far, a couple hours away, so we get to go together. We brought our kids. Well, at least Sam, Alan, and I brought our kids. Niles was also there. He just can't join us tonight, so we'll be shouting out Alan tonight. I mean, Niles tonight since he can't make it. But yeah, we want to talk about the movie, kind of what we liked, what we didn't like. A couple people had asked me, "Are we going to do spoilers?" So we're going to do spoilers a little bit later. So I'll let you know before we get into that. So you can, if you want to turn it off, you can, and then you come back later and watch it. But first, let's go over intros. Did you get anything, Dr. Diecast, that you want to share?
yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people got this, but the number one stunner, Mr. Heavy Gunner,
Yes.
That's very pretty.
and he's full of life and articulation, and he's a definite. And even though for my namesake Diecast, he has no diecast, but he's great. And then I wanted to show this because this was so cool. So you could get the New Age Devastator frame for $40 on BBTS.
Yeah.
For 40 more bucks on eBay, there's a 3D printed filler kit, and it just makes him look like that classic Toon Devastator, and it's really cool.
How's the
For $80.
articulation on it, though?
I mean, it's all the frame. So it's
Oh,
whatever the frame does. The scrapper actually has a great rocker there, and so does Mixmaster. So, but
Reminds me of something.
all of the joints are with the frame, and these just plug on. They don't do anything really. So this
And
is
it's way cheaper.
yeah. So for 80, or if you just get this, you can have a combined and robot, mode all together. But for $80, you can get, now you have a combined New Age Devastator.
Very nice.
It was great. And then the last thing, one Chug pickup with the Studio Trigger video. I really didn't know who Vector Prime was. Looked him up after the Studio Trigger, and hey, there's a Chug release. So when they have
Chug
that,
Thug.
yeah, I know. I've really turned into a Chug Thug. When they have that Bump of Chicken Prime come out, I'll play them together because they're both in that video, and that video was awesome.
I'd never even heard of Bump of Chicken until I saw that Optimus in that video that came out. All right, how about you, Mr. Sam Scott Robots? What do you got?
You
You got our
got this
picture in the
guy.
background.
know who this guy is?
New Age.
New Age. I got this guy.
Is that a water slide I see you put on it already?
Water slide. Yes, sir.
Metallic water slide, yeah.
Yeah. I treat him like
Very
the
nice.
fans' toys a little bit.
Yeah, it looks good. I just got one from Sanjay to review, so it's coming up next.
And what else? Well, I had this one, but I didn't put it in my case yet. You reviewed
Yeah.
this one.
Yes.
Triceratops.
No, that was New Age, right?
You know that Devastator you were talking about? You know
Yeah.
what that remind me of?
Oh.
Remember
Same
this?
one.
I think it's before and after or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a transformer, or it doesn't
No,
transform.
this is just an Action Master. I gave it to my kids and I regretted it, so I took it back. I said, no.
I thought
It's worth something.
I thought you were gonna say you bought another. But you said you just took it back. That's funny.
No, after I saw his legs on the floor, ripped apart, I was like, nah, I'm good.
All right, and Mr. Allentron, you got anything you want to show?
Nah, not really. I mean, I still blown away
Oh,
by
you
this
got
guy
that.
right here.
Is it good?
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, especially for the price point, it was like $85.
Not
I
bad.
literally
Yeah.
cannot
Pretty much
cannot
perfect.
complain. I mean, little things here and there, but right when I saw them, Show Z put up for their version of Ramjet, I paid for that right away. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah,
Obviously,
and they're coming
we
out
can't wait
quick.
for Dirge too.
Yeah,
They are.
maybe
They
by the
are.
end of the year. Maybe by the end of the year, we'll have all three of them.
Wow. Wow. Well, I mean, there we have the basic mold, so you
Yeah.
just gotta do the wings and stuff. But I also got this guy recently. Haven't had a chance to transform him, but
Which one, toy
man,
or
I
regular?
know Sony
That's the
the
regular.
regular. Yeah, just to check him out. I know I'll be watching Sony's review for transformation on those feet, but
Why did you get the toy version?
I got him for a
Out of
good price.
curiosity.
I got him for a good price, and I
Okay.
actually wanted this version because it's cleaner, and
Okay.
it was almost like, hey, I didn't get the Knight Rider one, so this kind of looks like Knight Rider, but man, But I wanted to check him out though.
Very
So,
nice.
when I get a chance, I'll get to transforming them. But other than that, actually, I picked this up for a great
Ooh.
price.
Very nice.
One of these people that they just wanted to buy him for Rat Bat, so he basically
Oh, nice. Yeah.
yeah gave it away, but I got him for basically half price. So I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Now I got the regular version for Robot, and I have him on the side. So
Yeah, you can't complain for a discount. Very nice.
oh hell yeah.
I got a lot of the same stuff, so I'm just gonna be quick. I got the Brawl. It's awesome. I have all of them in tank mode right now, and the Zeta is awful. The Zeta is so bad. But I'm gonna
getting
do
rid of
that.
mine.
What, the Zeta?
Yeah, I'm just getting rid of it. I'm tired of it. I don't even like it. Just
Well, I like it in
heavy
combined
mess.
mode. Combined mode
Yeah,
is
yeah. I have it in combined mode, but I have extra parts because I have the original one.
Oh,
Like
I
a
got you.
chest. He's very heavy.
He
So
is
I'm just
heavy. I like how he looks though. Sanjay sent me this.
That's dope.
It's a really good figure. Oh, I don't know why my camera sucks, but it's a really good figure. I mean, the posability,
That's
accessories. It has it still has the problem with the hip skirts, but other than that, it's like perfect. I mean, it's a great figure.
I want the jazz.
I'm waiting for mine. And then I got this when we went to the movie. This was a birthday present. Thank you guys. The toy version of Run Amok and Runabout from X Transbots.
Dope.
We could almost hear you crying on camera.
About
the best part was the clenched fists.
yes, because I was like, they should have just put this out first.
Yeah.
Most people want those colors. Let's say I had a couple people in the chat before we get started. We got Frank Barreto, the Titan, Larkin's Lair. Thanks for joining. Princeton, M Squared, Travis. We're gonna see a lot of these people down in Baltimore,
Mhm.
TFCon.
TFCon.
Oh yeah, that's coming up. We'll talk about that at the end. Transformers: The Origin. We got the Blur, our friend Jay. Bot versus Khan. Thanks for joining. And
Oh, hey. Bob versus Khan.
an Epic Disaster. A lot of you will see down in the
That's the guy who taught me how to do water slides. I
who?
think it's Epic Disaster.
This guy.
I think he's the one that does the water slides. He's
Yep.
king of that.
Yes, and I learned from you, so it's a circle of
Yeah.
stickers.
I'm stuck with it. Once you go that way, there's no other way I could go.
All right, so let's get into the movie. So we're going to talk about Transformers 1. We'll do spoilers a little bit later, but right now I'm interested to hear what did you like about the movie? What are the things that stood out as they did it right, like they did the movie right? So I guess I'll just go around the same order I did before. So Dr. Diecast, what did you like about the movie?
Well, I'll just mention one thing because I don't want to take anything away from the other guys talking, but nothing was forced. The story
Okay.
wasn't forced. The comedy wasn't forced. This is not a spoiler. We know Megatron goes from Optimus's friend to his adversary. That whole transition was not forced.
Right.
So it was a very organic character development and plot, and that's what I really enjoyed about it.
Yeah, I think the original comics did that storyline too, right? That's kind of where they got it from. A little different, but the original story has them being friends and then becoming enemies.
You mean the Marvel comics or
Yeah.
IW?
No, in Marvel.
Okay.
Right? Somebody was saying that this is not a new storyline. It's tweaked.
Well, yeah.
But
I always thought that was. Well, I haven't read it, but I always thought maybe it was IDW. But
it might be IDW. It might
that
be
was
IDW.
always there. It was always all along that someone had already gave that precedent.
Yeah. Sam, what do you think? What would you like about it?
It was good. I mean, I was being, the kids were just disrupting everything. I was trying to focus on the beginning. There was some stuff I missed. I don't want to talk about it, but when you want to do spoilers, they answered a couple of questions, G1 questions.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
That's a good way to put it without giving it
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. The fightings were cool. Some things were a little different to me. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I guess I think Chris Hemsworth did a good job of the Optimus, and the Megatron was, to me, the weakest link in the voice. I wasn't a fan of it.
Well,
Other
save
than
that for the bad. But you liked Optimus's voice. I heard that.
It gave he gave him youth. You know,
Yeah.
you could see
Yeah,
where
he
he was
felt
coming
young.
from. He probably
Yeah.
needed to smoke a couple more cigars or something, or Cybertronian cigars, to get that voice back. You know.
Yeah, I hear you.
Or
Alan, what about
whatever.
you? What'd you like about it?
I mean, for me at least, it was almost like a rebirth, to be honest. It was almost like, oh, here's another story, another storyline that, I mean, we've been doing G1 for so long. I mean, this might be a comic book line that
Yeah.
I'm not aware of, but at least for me, it was one of those where it was almost like the birth. The movie went great, very entertaining, and in the end, it tied it all up. You know, once I don't know if this is a spoiler. I guess once those they got their things back, I guess, and they started to go back. They developed back into the bots we knew,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh wow, I can't wait for the next one.
Right. Right.
So it was one of those where you're like, oh, I'm not sure. In the very beginning, you're like, I'm not sure. What are these? They just look like they're making they're like the kids version now. They're trying to get the kids in, but like, as the movie went on, paid a lot of homage to us, the old school fans, and
Sure.
I'll be honest, I can't wait for part two or
right.
whenever that comes out. So
Yeah. So I totally agree. It wasn't. We did bring our kids. So I brought my daughter. Usually, I don't. My daughter is not interested in Transformers movies, and I don't want to force her to watch it. But when I asked, she was like, "Oh yeah, I definitely want to watch it." And then she liked it. She enjoyed it. So it was definitely enjoyable for kids. But I also enjoyed it right from the opening scene. It's an action scene, right away, and it got me like right away. I was interested. I wanted to know how are they going to end up. So I definitely agree with you. Like it captured the attention of me as an adult, but also our kids who are with us. Like I looked over at the boys a couple times. Sam's boys and Alan, your boy, and I was thinking, okay, they're going to be running around distracted, but they were watching the movie. So it must be at least good
you're
enough.
right. Actually, that's a great point. Hopefully, it'll be the next generation of fans. We're going to bring them in.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, to get my kids to sit through a whole movie is usually real difficult, and they did. So maybe the franchise will stay alive.
Yeah. I hope this reinvigorates. All right, so Sam, I'm going to go back to you since you already started on the bad. So, what did you not like? What could they done better overall? I think you said Megatron.
Is this spoiler free?
No, not yet. Not yet. It's spoiler free.
Okay.
You said Megatron's voice could have been raspier.
Megatron's
Or,
voice should have been a little more dominant. Not.
yeah.
I felt he was too. I felt he was a little bit like of a how you say of a whiner in a sense. He's very
Yeah.
whiny.
No, I
You
hear
know,
you. Yeah.
that's not Megatron's personality. I know he's dominant later on, but just felt like
Soft.
so too soft. I wish he was a little more stronger. You know, like he could have been like. I was thinking if someone was a little more deep voice, could be stern, and then later on, get raspier. You know,
Yeah.
later on in the movie, some people's voices might have changed. Won't say who, but
So
you
here's
heard it.
so here's a question, Sam. Do you think they should have used Cullen and Welker, or it was time to pass the torch to the next generation of Prime and Megatron?
I think, of course, they're gonna eventually do that. I think they could have got somebody who was pretty close that sounded like them. I don't know if these guys know or were they passionate. They're just playing.
Mm.
Okay, you're a robot. You're gonna turn into a tank. You're gonna turn eventually to some kind of truck thing.
So one thing I will say, I do think they were passionate because remember how the movie opened up? It was the actors, like the movie opened with the voice actors on screen saying, "Hey, this was an important part of our childhood," like especially Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah, I was surprised they did that.
Yeah, it was like a very personal message, and I think they took the roles to heart, because I've never
Must
seen
have missed that.
where the voice actors say, "Hey, we hope you enjoy the movie. This was important to us, on a personal level as well as a professional level, of course." But I thought that immediately caught my attention even before the movie started. That
I forgot about that.
yeah, I mean it's unique, right?
Yeah.
And if you've been following, their social medias, unfortunately, we'll talk about this later. The sales haven't been great, but they've been out there on social media at live events, really pushing it.
So what about you, Dr. Diecast? What was it? Was there anything that could have been better?
I'm going to say no, and in fact, I'm going to take this time to talk about some other positives.
Okay.
The homages I really liked. Again, they weren't forced. A lot of 86 homages. I thought they even had some Beast Wars homages there. In addition, I like how they merged our classic G1 timeline with the IDW. The whole again, this is not a spoiler, about the 13 Primes and Primus and how that they actually started the movie with IDW, Right. And then it was almost a seamless transition into what we know as G1. And just, there were just a ton of Easter eggs in there too, which, I don't want to do the spoilers. We'll later.
Yeah, just keep those in mind because I do want to talk about surprises. That'll be the last thing. Yeah, for sure. Lots of homages.
But I have no negatives to say.
Wow, that's
actually,
pretty
there's
amazing.
one, but it's a spoiler, so I'll talk about it later. There's one thing that kind of bothered me, but I'll talk about in the spoiler-free section because I'm like, what the hell happened to that?
Alan, what about you?
And the fact that no one ever
I
calls.
think of.
Do they ever call Bumblebee in the movie?
I think they say B.
They call him B, but they never call him Bumblebee, which I thought was funny.
That's true.
Because I was like, oh, he got his cog. They're going to call him Bumblebee now. And it's like B.
Yeah, they stick with B.
Yeah.
Alan, was there anything you didn't like?
Honestly, not really. I mean, maybe I'll be honest. I can't think of anything. I mean, all around enjoyable.
So I wrote down there was a couple of cheesy scenes where, and it was not a lot. There was very, very few, but a couple of times I was like, that joke didn't land. Or it was like they tried to have Bumblebee. So Bumblebee is played by Michael Keegan Key, who is like a comedian, and he's funny, just naturally funny.
He's good.
And a few of his jokes really hit. Like I was out loud laughing about it. And I turned to Dr. Diecast. I was like, did you get that? He's like, yeah, he got it. then a couple times I was like, oh, that was cringy. But only a few. There's very few of those.
I'm working for the government.
The other thing I thought was silly was some of the background. They had all the characters that you would expect in the movie. There were other cameos, which is great, and I'm not going to give it away, but there were cameos that was awesome. But then there was dumb things like there were robot deer just hanging out.
Yes.
Like it just felt like they don't need to be there. Just get rid of them. They're not adding anything to the story. But these are minor. Like these are gripes,
so
right?
I thought that was some of the Beast War homages.
Oh, you thought the deer were
Like
Beast Wars?
the deer and that whole scene.
Okay.
Again, I don't want to do any
Retro
spoilers,
rabbits.
but that whole organic world was a Beast Wars homage.
Retro rabbits, is that so? Please clarify, because I want to know if those are actual Transformers from some series or just made up.
No, he's
No,
talking
that's
about
what
the
Cup said.
Petro rabbits and Cup, right? Remember Cup
Petro
and the
rabbits.
Oh, okay.
I
yes.
give you petro rabbits.
rabbits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, those were from
Please
an
don't
actual.
talk about retro rabbits.
Yeah, he said retro, not Petro.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into surprises. So this is spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, now's the time to turn it off. You can come back later and watch it. Sorry, we're gonna get into spoilers because we got to get into the good stuff. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So,
You have
so we're gonna talk
a-
about surprises. So what surprised you in the movie? And we have to reveal what it is because otherwise, how can you talk about it?
Can
So, you want to go first? Yeah, go for it. What
While my
surprised you?
kids were running around, I just missed Primus.
Oh,
He
you
was
missed it.
transforming.
Okay.
They show him transforming, and it was the exact toy or figure that we got. What was the
It looks
Primus
just
that
like
came-
Studio Seed. It looks just like Studio Seed.
But before
Yeah.
Studio Seed,
So
before
I
Studio
wouldn't
Seed-
be surprised if those Studio Seeds actually pick up in sales.
Just because of the movie.
No, I mean, it's like they logged on to Agabus and let's look at Primus. Okay, he looks like this. All right, draw him like that. You know?
Yeah, it looked
I
good.
think he's on sale on Show Z.
Do you think that Hasbro is going to make a Titan Primus?
They may make one for Transformers 1. It's possible. And yeah, I don't know. It's
big as
hard, right?
Unicron?
Because it can't be the size of Unicron. That's too big.
Well, there was no Unicron in this movie, or not yet anyway. But
Right. So would they make a Primus that is in a scale by like a 2-foot Primus that's not quite the Unicron size?
well, every time anytime there's a property that gets released, the legacy or not legacy in the legacy line, every wave there's one Titan, or every movie wave there's one bigger figure. I have to imagine they're gonna make one big robot for the Transformers 1 movie, and if they're gonna make one, it's gonna be Primus.
Primus.
He didn't have much of a role in the movie. He just appeared.
No.
Oh, Tim Cook says maybe the next Tesla. Maybe that'd be cool. If
I
they
get
did.
it.
I think if
As
the
long as it
movie
makes it
did
so
well, it would have, but it's not, unfortunately, doing that great at the box offices.
Yeah. So is that another surprise? Was you thought it was going to do well, but what's it at? How are they doing?
Last week it was at 25 million. I think it's 80 million to make it. I mean, they'll make their money back, but it's not. It's kind of all of us G1 fans were begging for a movie like this, and we say just make it. It'll do well. It'll do well. They made it. It's got high Rotten Tomatoes scores. Critics. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
It's gotten the appropriate scores, but not the box office draw.
Right.
Versus Rise of the Beast, which was complete trash, absolute trash.
But got a big.
Look at what they did to my boy Wheeljack.
Oh my
Look
god.
at what they did to my boy.
and your boy Mirage.
that we'll talk about, which you picked up on. We always said, hey, get the humans out of it. You don't need the humans. And, all of those, Rise of the Beast was absolute trash, but it made enough that
Yeah.
more live action will come. And it's a real bummer. I don't know if we're going to see a Transformers 2.
Yeah, just did the numbers.
Well,
where,
let me just say this.
Go ahead.
Can I say that I definitely think they're going to? If we stay for the credits,
Yeah.
all the big names are put their money into it. I mean, just because of that, I think we're going to get a part. At very least, they'll do the part 2.
I think
I
so.
mean,
Spielberg's
I
name's in
hope,
there.
but I mean,
I'm reading right
someone-
now, 75 million worldwide.
So far,
worldwide.
total or just
75
opening weekend?
million worldwide.
Jackson.
It's totaled more than 41 million at the world box office,
Okay.
but it's 75 million. Oh no, 41. My bad. 75 million is what it costs.
Yeah.
41 million is what they made.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Yeah. So that's pretty low for having been already a week, right?
Yeah.
It's already a week in.
Yeah, and it was second place to Beetlejuice. That was in its second or third week, and Beetlejuice has gotten very poor reviews.
That was a surprise. We went to the theater. So we went to this really cool theater called the Alamo. It's like a dine-in. So you get food, you get
Go.
drinks.
Go.
They bring it right to your table. Kind of like
Thank you very much, by the way.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
Thank
yeah.
welcome.
you.
That was great.
Oh yeah, thank you.
But I was shocked because there was zero Transformers paraphernalia. There was nothing. There was no posters, there was no like popcorn buckets, there was zero anything. I even looked because I went and asked the guy. They're like, yeah, we don't have that here.
Which I think ours was a one-off because a lot of people have posted, with like all of the nice
Okay.
promotional items.
You think it was just that theater?
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So did you give your surprises, Dr. Dacus?
Me?
Yeah.
So my surprise was two things. Number one, I appreciated how much they looked at the source material, the 86 movies, the series. They must have read IDW, or at least some of IDW, and how much they paid attention and incorporated that into the movie. To give some spoilers, specifically, and I missed this originally, but Alita 1 and Optimus, when they're arguing in the beginning after the mining accident, she tells them, "You don't have the touch or the power." And so how much they paid attention. And number two, just when I remember the director weeks ago, like they had interviewed him, and he said, "Yeah, I watched the '86 movie, and I was just surprised how dark it was for a kids movie." But this movie had some dark scenes in it too, and I was surprised by how far they went in this day and age with some of the insinuated off-screen violence. For instance, there was when basically Sentinel Prime was beheading Megatronus, and when he killed Alpha Trion.
Yeah. My daughter, when that happened, my daughter looked at me. She was like, but then they didn't show it. Like they panned away right as he cut his head off.
I think that's also, again, a homage to the '86 movie, and it did take you to a dark place,
I would say that's more IDW than '86 movie. Because
Okay.
it was pretty, there were some brutal parts, but they didn't really show the brutal parts, but they kind of did.
So how much they paid attention to everything that came before them and some of the darkness, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I was actually going to say almost the same thing. Some of the darkness surprised me. I thought it was going to be all bubbly and fluffy, kid friendly, but Sentinel Prime was hardcore. Like he was a badass character. I mean,
yes. Do you want to talk about the COG stuff?
Yeah. Well, we're into spoilers now, so you could say whatever you want. But for me, the fact that he had betrayed everybody, like he literally betrayed the Primes, he betrayed all of the Transformers, he basically enslaved them from birth by taking their
Yeah.
cog,
Yeah,
and then
took their
told them,
cocks away. Yeah.
and that was like, damn, he's hardcore, he's ruthless. That surprised me. Also, what surprised me was um, there was a couple of adult only references. So and it was some of them were from Keegan Mike and Key, but his show Key and Peele, he does a character where he's getting the
Yeah.
names wrong. Like he's
Yeah.
he's saying Aaron, and he said yeah, that, and only an adult's really gonna get that. Like kids not gonna pick up on that. And there are other things like that, where it was only an adult's gonna get it. So I thought that was cool. Also, Megatron's character, he went from like, because Sam, you were saying his voice wasn't dark enough, but he went from friendly to like he turned it an instant into
but
evil.
It was like what killed me was when he held him in the hand
Yeah.
and grabbed him because he felt bad what he did. And then all of a sudden, vete pa carajo. He just let him go. Like, what is that? How did you flip? And I talked to somebody else about it. They said, how did you turn so quickly? Like
right.
Well, so here's my thing. I didn't think he turned quickly, because if you notice, his eyes change throughout the movie. They get progressively more red, and the first time it does that is when Alpha Trion tells him about Sentinel, and that's like the first snap, because there was a scene where like, don't worry, we'll get our justice on Sentinel, and he's like, no, I want to kill him.
Right.
You remember it? Like they're having that discussion. Like, I want to kill. It's right before they met Starscream and all them.
Yeah, he already started turning.
And he's like, no, I'm leading us. Yeah. We're going out here. I want my revenge. Because he also idealized Megatronus, and to find out Megatronus was killed by Sentinel. That whole cave conflict, I felt, was the first time he snapped, and his eyes became like a little orange. And then in the very end, at that scene where he betrays Prime, his eyes become completely red.
Tim said, I guess this was a line. Who here has wave in their name? that was a good one.
Oh, yeah. That was really funny.
But yeah, so all the promo pictures, all of the like early scenes, this is the color of his eyes. It's like kind of orangish, and he looks kind of friendly. And like it was pretty subtle, but like they slowly turned it red. And then he got a face mask, right? Eventually.
Yeah. When he gets Megatronus's cog from Sentinel Prime.
Right. So like,
I like that. I actually like this design because it reminds me of an old G1 commercial where Megatron has a dark helmet.
Yeah,
that's why I want to get it for that.
I wish they could have done the gun, but I understand. At this day and age, they're not going to do a gun.
New age.
What'd you guys think of Alita 1?
I think she was good. She was a strong female character,
Yeah, definitely. Very prominent.
Yeah, I was worried.
Almost like second lead at most of the time.
Yeah, I was worried they were gonna like.
Hey, she was their boss.
Yeah, she was. I mean, she ended up not being their boss, but she started, and like I thought they were gonna downplay her role and just make her like, okay, yeah, she's just a sidekick type of thing, but she had a pretty good role. I like the alt mode too.
Yeah. And at the end, Prime basically names her like, I need a general, So it wasn't like, I need like a second in command. I need this. He's like, no, if I'm the leader, I need an enforcer. You're the enforcer, So I really like that. It gave her a strong role.
Yeah. So this is super duper 100% spoiler, but at the end, when Megatron shot Optimus, he had a big hole in him. He's falling in the hole. Mm-hmm. Like it just shocked me they even showed that.
Yeah.
Like my daughter had this look on her face, like, how could they do that? And then, but then he rose back up. Like that was so cool. Like that was very, very well done. Like the way they did it.
Did anybody notice? I think I noticed that it wasn't in the same spot as the G1 movie he got shot. And I thought that would have been a great homage for that, but
Oh yeah,
you
that's
know.
a missed opportunity. That
Yeah,
was, yeah.
it was a little
But,
Yeah, I
different.
think
but
so.
I mean, like I'm only thinking that now.
You remember War Dawn?
Yeah.
He did shoot him pretty much close to the center.
Oh, that
But
yeah. Maybe that's what they went off with.
So, any other surprises or things that stood out to you?
Yeah, I have a list.
Go for it.
Real quick, I just want to say again with the homages, the fact that they did all the classic phrases, more than meets the eye. Alpha Trion uses "Till All Are One." What I thought was interesting, the first time Prime used Transform and Roll Out, it was with the Elite Guard who became the Decepticons. You know, I just thought that was so cool. Like that's
What?
this class.
I didn't understand.
So
Say-
the first time Prime uses the line "Transform and Roll Out,"
Yeah.
it was when the Elite Guard had just been attacked, and they were regrouping. And he stands there. He's like, "All right, let's transform," but no one heard him. And Elita One says, "No, say it louder." And he says, "Transform and roll out."
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, but he's talking to Shockwave, Soundwave,
Okay.
Conehead.
Okay.
So the first time, if you
That's
take that as
interesting.
canon, he uses his classic line. It was with the
The
Decepticons.
Decepticons. Right?
Yeah. Of course, Megatron using Rise Up. I think that's IDW.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the train comes into Iacon with the Elite Guard and the train gets basically attacked and Soundwave says Decepticons eject?
Yeah. Yeah. That was cool.
was cool. I really like that. And of course, there was a GoBots reference. And then just like you were talking about how Alita 1 is a strong character, when she and Prime were having that moment and she was saying, "You're so damn optimistic."
Right.
I feel like that was awesome. So
Sam, I think you were saying this too, right? You were surprised they didn't make it Ariel into Alita 1 when she got her cog, like when she grew up big.
I wanted her name to be Ariel, but whatever.
Yeah.
I was wondering that before I even saw the movie.
I was-
Are they gonna call her Ariel or no?
No, they didn't. I was surprised about the size difference but when they don't have their cog versus when they do. They're like completely
Yeah.
different robots. Like,
yeah, when Prime goes back, yeah,
we never really seen that aspect of it. Like without, I guess we saw it in the Netflix cartoon where they lost, but that wasn't the greatest cartoon anyway. But we haven't really seen many scenes or like media where they don't have their cog. So it was cool to explore a whole movie about them not having it.
Mhm.
And like not being able to transform, not having power, being smaller.
and kind of that hierarchy
Yeah.
within Cybertron, you know.
Yeah, like almost like a tiered class system.
Yeah.
Like they were a lower class.
Yeah, and I know people said they didn't like
Likewise.
Trion's alt form to being like, but again, I thought that was like a Beast Wars homage because they're in that natural
Okay.
area. They're going in a cave. Alpha Trion never had an alt mode in the show.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to turn into a lion, but I wasn't bothered by it. I thought for what they were trying, it wasn't like War for Cybertron trilogy where if you heard the backstory, like they basically told him at the last second, "Oh yeah, and we need Beast Wars."
Yeah.
They're like, "What?" And they had to like change the script. You know, this is like they got Beast Wars in there, you know, because they had Black Arachnia and
They had a
Alpha
couple.
Trion becoming that, and he had a great scene, right? He kind of that was his last stand. He
used
took
the
down-
armor.
Yeah, he took down the.
Yeah, if I can go off,
What's that?
if I can go off you real quick, I thought
Yeah, go.
Black Arachnia was like she was like the coolest freaking probably the coolest, the more badass character.
Yeah, she
Mm.
was.
One
She
of
was
them
an
in the right.
She was the
Oh
goddamn.
my
assassin.
god.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, you know, you sit there and you go, oh well, Starscream is Megatron's number 2.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, it's time to recruit Black Arachnia, you know, because she
Yeah.
fucking kicked ass in that movie.
And that was the other thing. Speaking of Starscream, remember when Megatron's choking Starscream? Like, isn't that the iconic Megatron Starscream scene? Starscream,
Absolutely.
you fool!
I loved
And he
it.
choked him to the point his voice changed, which I thought was awesome.
That's what I
You
was
know?
talking about. Remember what I was saying before? The voice changed.
And it
Yeah,
stayed.
which
It
was-
stayed like that, right? It
Yeah, it
stayed.
stayed like that. So
Yeah.
it was kind of, again, they were, the word of the day is homage. They're paying homage to Chris Latta and
Right.
his take on Starscream. You know.
Well, it's also origin story. So like, oh, how did his
Yeah.
voice get like that? Well, because
Yeah.
he got
Because
choked out.
Megatron literally choked him. Starscream, you fool. I would have liked to have heard that. I would have liked to have heard a Starscream, you fool.
Yeah.
But,
What about the GoBots? So I caught that reference. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
But you're a bunch of GoBots,
I
yeah.
think we all
They
caught
just
that
beat
one.
the daylights out of GoBots.
Which is
Yeah.
it's really funny because now they own the property, so they
Yeah.
can do it with no recourse. What is this question? Chromia or Mirage?
So we think we think Mirage won the Iacon 5000.
Yeah, I thought it was Mirage.
Yeah,
thought it was
so
a female.
the only reason I thought it was Blur, and so I'm going back to seeing the movie again this Saturday. I'm going to take screenshots of the leaderboard because we caught Motormaster, Blur, and Slugslinger. Niall
Mhm.
saw his name on there. in
Okay,
the race.
in the top three.
Well, just on the board.
Oh,
when they
just
were
on the
showing
board,
it.
okay.
So Motormaster was number 2. He in
Oh,
the
okay.
race.
Okay.
Oh,
What in the hell?
What the hell was that?
I
word
don't
of the
know.
day, I don't know.
Where did
I
that come
have no idea what that
Happy
was.
birthday!
But I thought the winner was Blur because I caught his name on the leaderboard, and you
Yeah.
had turned to me and you were pumped. You're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, what, Blur?
It was Chromia. Somebody wrote Chromia 1.
Chromia one?
Oh, is it
Okay.
Chromia? Okay, I'll have to go back and see.
I thought it was a female.
Oh, they
looked-
mention her name.
I saw
Okay.
it. I kind of saw a special copy of it, and it looked like a female. And
Okay,
Motormaster.
yeah. I mean, I'm
and the
going to
Motormaster?
actually. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to film that part, and I'll for my
I
own
seen the
sake,
part.
just want to see all the names on the leaderboard.
Mm.
I don't know if it said Motormaster. It said Motor, and it said a different thing. But look again. I was
Well-
looking for Motormaster, and I saw something else.
Well, there's 2 people saying it, or 3 people
Chromia.
saying it. So
Chromia.
it's got to be Chromia.
Yeah, it's got to be Chromia then. Okay.
No,
Uh,
I'm talking about the Motormaster name.
Oh, well, you think it was
Motormaster name
Motor
wasn't-
something else?
It was
Motor.
something else.
Okay, I'm gonna. So we've only seen it once. I know there's people watching who've seen it more than once. So if you tell us it's Chromia, I'm gonna believe you.
Yeah.
I'm definitely want to go back and watch it again. What did you guys think about the? So there was a couple background characters. I'm getting to this comment here. Like they had Hound, they had
Yeah.
Ironhide, Red Alert,
Sideswipe.
Ratchet, like all these like
Gas.
characters, but they were not even touched. Like you saw them in the background and that was it. I think they're setting it up for,
Yeah, I was fine with that.
the next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? If you make a toy, I'll buy it of them. 'Cause it
Oh
was
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Was any other surprise, like Sam or Alan, did you have any other things that you wanted to mention? I actually took notes because I'm going to forget. I have a terrible memory.
I was like, give me
almost
both.
jumped out of my seat when Orion comes in and he does the classic 86 movie prime pose where he's jumping in the air, turning.
Yeah,
and
That was
shooting.
dope.
If the seats were so weird because we had the thing there, I was literally like, my impulse was just to jump out of the seat. Seeing that. I was like, oh, yes.
That was pretty dope.
Thank you
Yeah.
for like caring about our childhood here.
So I don't know a lot of the fiction in IDW. I haven't read a lot of comics. I'm just not that kind of guy. But when he took the Megatronus symbol, like it was a sticker. It was like, hey, I have this sticker or whatever it was, and he that became his permanent symbol. I thought that was really cool, and the fact that it was a prime, it made him like the badass prime. Go ahead.
Yeah, and also remember, there's that scene where Sentinel is branding him.
Yeah.
Oh, you like that so much, let me make it permanent. So I thought that whole idea of Decepticons getting branded was also cool.
Sam, go for what do you say? Go ahead.
There was a deleted scene they didn't put in, I heard. And Megatron, how he picked his name. He says, my name is Megatron because there's no more us. That's why he chose Megatron. and not
Oh,
Megatronus.
versus Megatronus. Okay.
Mhm.
That's
That
cool.
was the rumor.
That's cool. I heard this after that Jetfire was mentioned in the race, which I can't wait to see what Jeff Fire looks like. But he didn't appear. He didn't appear in the movie. So but I'm okay. I'll wait for the second one. All right, so let's talk about toys. Since anything else before we move on from this surprise question? Okay. So are you guys interested in getting collectibles or toys? And I'm going to let Dr. Jacquez go first because he already has the answer.
Yeah, so I'm going to get. So my plan for my Transformers One shelf is I'm going to go with YOLO Park for Cogless and Cog mode, and then I'm going to get the MDLX Prime and Megatron because you can use their final forms in that. So with YOLO
You're
Park,
going to do in order, like the smaller one to the bigger one?
yeah. So in YOLO Park, you don't get Megatron with Megatronus's Cog, and you don't get Prime with like full Matrix mode. So because they have Cog and Cogless for YOLO Park, from what I've seen, and then final form. So in for 8 of the YOLO Park and 2 for the MDLX.
Oh, you're going pretty hard. Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, I loved it. It was great. I mean, it was everything I wanted in a Transformers movie. So I want to support the franchise. Like I said, I'm going to see the movie twice. I may even see it a third time. I'll get the DVD. And yeah, this is a brand of Transformers I want to support.
Awesome. Alan, are you getting anything?
I mean, I primarily only collect Masterpiece line, so I'll probably pick and choose. But honestly, I might get Black Arachnia.
What if they make a Masterpiece Transformers 1 MPG?
Yeah, I'm in.
I'll probably get Megatron. I actually really like Megatron. I like the kind of like the updated version. Absolutely. Honestly, Prime didn't stand out for me as much as Megatron did.
Yeah, it was a good character. Sam, what about you? You gonna get anything?
I'm gonna go with the 3-0. Make it easy.
MDLX.
The size is just fine. I heard the YOLO parks are bigger. I love the Megatron. Who knows? I'll probably get both Megatrons. And what else I was thinking about? If they get a Masterpiece, most definitely.
I'm really excited to see what third party will do.
Yeah.
You know.
Did we see Prowl in the movie? I don't remember seeing Prowl.
I think he might have been in it.
I think he's right.
He's definitely mentioned. I wrote him down. I don't know if I think we did see him in one of those scenes where they're rushing out.
Yeah.
And you see his face real quick.
Okay. Smoke
Him
screen.
and Wheeljack, yeah.
Oh, they called it
a minor. Probably a minor.
It was a minor? Okay, yeah. I'm probably gonna get one MDLX figure, probably Optimus Prime. I haven't decided yet, but either Prime or Megatron. But since I'm getting Sanjay's to review, and then I send it off, that'll help me make my decision. But I'm gonna get at least one MDLX because I just like that line so much. But I don't know if they make MP. I'm not sure I'm interested in MP, but I'll get an MDLX. I'm done. Blur, he's getting everything. He's talking about you, Dr. Digest.
Yeah. Listen, like I said, it's the movie we've been waiting for since 2007. This is the movie we've been waiting for since 2007. So I'm going to support it.
So let's end the show with. So obviously this is a spoiler a little bit, but there's going to be a Transformers 2. I don't know if it'll be called 2, but it'll be a second movie. What do you want to see in the next movie? Like what characters or what plot line would you like to see play out, or what kind of component, like combiners or city bots, or what are you looking for? What would be the most exciting thing for you to see in the next movie?
What's up with the Quintessons? What happened? They just showed one time.
That's true. Yeah,
that was it.
They do have to resolve the Quintessons.
Yes,
and I don't think that was the main Quintesson boss. I think that was a representative of the alligator one Quintesson, just in that form. It wasn't the 5-face one.
Yeah, they're gonna come back.
Big boss.
Almost guaranteed they're in the next one.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see something more than just a direct tie-in to the beginning of More Than Meets the Eye. You know, I do want to see yeah. I guess it would have to be a couple more, at least one more battle between Prime and Megatron, and then them resolve the Quintesson issue, and then get into More Than Meets the Eye. Me personally, I want to see Omega in the next one.
Yeah, that's actually likely, or maybe the Guardian, right? You might get a
Yeah.
Guardian.
Oh yeah, Guardian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tim Cook also
So mine.
Supreme. Go ahead, Alan. Go for it.
No, I was going to say mine was going to be basically a formation of the teams, and then crashing into the Earth and setting up the bases, and then exactly introduce Omega. Honestly, I don't remember, but basically one of the big city bots, and then maybe start introducing just Constructicons for number 3, and then number 3 will be this the big bots tied in with at least I guess that's what I'm looking forward to for the second one.
Yeah,
I want some Unicron action, buddy. I want some Unicron and Primus action.
We're a little ways away
Unicron.
from
That's
Unicron.
number 6.
Yeah, that's like number 3, 4. So I
feel like
think
we're going through Star Wars here.
yeah, that's true. It's like a series now.
Yeah.
I want to see
I can see.
more Cybertron.
Mhm.
So one thing we're missing from the G1 show, but also from just general cartoon, is how they got from what we just saw to where they were warring factions and they destroyed the planet and they had to leave. We don't know how they we've never seen that part.
Yeah.
So I want to see how did they get to the point where they were at war and destroying everything.
Yeah, because remember at the end of this movie,
running out of Energon.
Yeah, there's Energons everywhere, right? Energons is flowing through the planet because the Matrix is back. So how did they, get from a state of abundance to, stealing little tubes of Energon,
Yeah, just to
Quintessons.
grab some of the comments. The Blur said he wants to see combiners. Tim says Omega Supreme Constructicons. Rick says I want to see how the Decepticons become the dominant faction, leading the Autobots to leave Cybertron, getting turned. That's what I want to see. How did they take over? Because in this movie, Megatron really was ruthless. Like he became ruthless. So to see the story of that, like how he takes over, that's interesting. I want to see the Quintesson Prosecutor. Okay. Devastator. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Devastator. If it's a trilogy, definitely the next one will end on a down note of the Autobots fleeing. Yeah. I think that's where the next one ends, is heading to Earth. And then, part 3 is, okay, we're on Earth now. And then we get alt modes and all that. All right. Well, I definitely want to go see it again. I'm hanging out with you guys, so I'm hoping to see it a second time. I think Dr. Diecast seeing it a third or fourth time.
Yeah, this is fine. I'm fine with it. I'm here.
So really quick on TFCon, do you want to mention TFCon and ERC?
Yeah, so TFCon November 2nd, Saturday, we have a ERC party. It's $30, but $30 gets you 2 drinks. We probably have a little extra drink tickets too for any of you who are extra thirsty. It gets you food, appetizers, and tons of giveaways. So I would say, you can join the ERC group. There is a post on TM's page too, so you can always get the instructions there. But you don't have to join the group. If you want to come by, just contact us on Facebook, and we can get you the ticket. But we have spots for 50 people, and we have 15 tickets left, and we're already a month, 5 to 6 weeks out, so they'll probably go by the time we get there. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure there's going to be none left. Let's have it go.
So you don't feel pressure to join the group, but you can contact us on Facebook, and we can get you the tickets.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Sam, you have any parting words before we end the stream?
Oh, well, we're not going to talk about things that are we're gonna be getting next week, or
Well,
anything like
so I thought about talking about Fans Toys, Gary. I don't want to do that till I have it in hand. That's not Fans Toys.
Ooh.
Stop it. Stop it.
that? Hey, what are you talking about? And what we're waiting for, really, we're waiting for this
I'm
guy.
on that
in
stuff.
Fans
Yeah.
Toys.
Well, I mean, I prefer not to speculate until we have it in hand. You know what I mean? Like, I'd
Did you
rather
see that
like
leg?
it looks awesome. It's
No,
big.
did you see the leg next to Superior?
I did. It's big. Yeah, it's huge.
Whew, 1.1 pound 6 ounces.
Oh,
That leg.
the Blur is asking if you made the list. Yes, you're on the list. Yes, sir. Alan, anything before we get out of here?
The Blur.
The Blur?
Oh,
He
damn it. I had
for
something.
the party?
Shout out to the Blur. You know who you are.
Oh, I think our timing is off.
If I remember, I'll come back.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna end for today. Thank you, Dr. Diecast.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Sam
Thank
Scott
you.
Robots. And
I'm
thank-
waiting
Fine.
whenever you're ready.
I'll be down. And then thank you, Alan, for joining us.
Anytime.
So we will see you next at TFCon. I mean, I guess I'll be doing a news show for October, and then after that, when is TFCon? November 9th, you said?
November 2nd is that
November
Saturday.
2nd. Okay.
So first, second, third.
Jay, we know you who you are.
So if you're coming to TFCon, come say hi, hit us up,
Yep.
and we'll see you there.
Yep. Well, I'll be there.
All right. Well, have a good night. Thanks for joining us. Later.
There we
So
go.
all
Take
are
care.
one.
Nice.